Yo, yo, yo! It's S to the L. How are we all doing today? Sorry. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Shamail, and today's video is going to be something a little more different, which I have never ever done before. Today I'm going to teach you how to do the surveyor basics and show you how to operate the locomotives in Trainz Android. Anyway, so I'm going to teach you how, and again, I'm going to teach you how to do some stuff on the surveyor before running the locomotives. So yeah. Alright, so you could see, if you look on the left screen, you could see some tabs. We have our locomotives, we have our season layers and route layers. We have our rulers and copies and pastes. We have our tracks, we have our scenery objects, we have our painting tools, and we have our topology. And under the locomotives, you can see all of these locomotives right here that I have downloaded, which are not installed by default with the game. There are some of them that are downloaded with the game, but the rest of them are add-ons which you can download. So, how to run these locomotives. So, to start off, I'm going to start off by teaching you how to do the topology first. So, you can see these buttons right here. You can put the topology height up, height down, or adjust height by swiping up and down. So, if you use the height up tool, and if you click and hold on the screen, this happens. But if you want the height down, you can select height down and do the same thing, and it'll do this. And you can adjust the height by swiping up and swipe down, up and down. And you can set the radius and sensitivity like this. And how to undo what you just did, you just press undo on the top of the screen, and it'll undo it for you. And this, you can get the height, and you can use the height and use the flat tool. What the flat tool means is if you do this, and if you use the flat tool, I have no idea how to pronounce it, it'll flatten it up like this. And you can add water like this. That's how you can add the water, and you can height up the water and remove the water. And you can add a section of the map. Like, if you look at the edge of the map, you can see the map is not that big. But if you press on the edge of the map right here, then it'll add another section of the map, so you can basically make the map big as you want it to be big. And if you want to get rid of it, you can delete the section of the map, and this will pop up. And if you don't want it to show again, just basically click on that, it'll remove it. So that's that, and I'm going to show you how to do the painting tool. So you can use the direction like this, and you can get paint tools. Like, I'll show you an example. So I'm just going to grab this asphalt right here, and I'm going to put the scale on big, so you can basically paint the map any color you want. And I'm just gonna go down to this, and I'm gonna use this right here. And if you want to get another paint texture, you just click on that button, and then you click on the texture, and it'll select it for you. And with this button right here, you can replace the texture with whatever color you want. I'm going to show you an example. So if you select this, if you select this texture right here, and if you put it right there, and if you press on this texture, and you put it right here, then it'll select the texture, and it'll change a different color. Like this. So I'm just gonna undo what I just did. So that's that. And the buildings objects, we have all of these buildings right here, which are installed by default with the game, and some of them are also downloaded add-ons. So I'm just gonna grab I'm going to grab this this huge castle right here, and if you click on the ground, it'll place it like this. And you can, and with this button, you can move the castle around like this. And this button, you can rotate the objects whichever direction you want. And with this button, you can get the castle and it'll place it. And you can also put the height up and down, and you can even sink it to the bottom. And with this button, if you click on it, it can do this. You can set the root layer or a season layer, and you can name it. And with this X button, just click on the castle and it will remove it. And this button right here, it's basically the same thing as the track, but instead of tracks, it uses other things, like this fence right here. And I'm just gonna grab some road. So you can see we have a road right here, which you can also put. So you can move the track around like this. And you could let me see. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to do, so let's just skip that. And of course with the X button, again, you can remove it. And I'm going to grab this road right here, which is really unique. And you can also get it, the road, again. And you can do some stuff, which I did right there. And this button, you can basically, this button right here, it will enable and disable the vehicles if you want them to. And the advanced tab, you can see, with this button, you can adjust the height of the road. And with this, you could remove the end vertex. And with this button, you can insert the spline point like this. So now we have another point of the road which you can add right there. I'm just going to remove that. And this button right here, you can basically do this. So I'm just going to undo it. And with this button right here, what you can do is you can raise the road, and if you press, you can get the vertex height road, and you can also remove the height of the road like this. And now for the track points, basically it is the same thing. So the tracks, again, they also work just like the roads, and they have the same kind of things, but with some extra kind of things which you can do. So I'm just gonna grab a invisible track right here, and you could and you can also raise the track again, and you can get the height of the road, and basically you can do this, and whatever that does. So you can remove the track. And for the rulers and the copy pastes, I'm not really sure what they're supposed to do, so let's just skip them. Same thing with the layers. And we've got the locomotives here. So I'm gonna grab the invisible track again, and I'm gonna put down a locomotive. So I'm gonna grab the the C58 number 239, and you can rotate the locomotives around, and you can move them like this, and you can even get them again, and you can remove them. And we've got the locomotive tender, which you can add to the front or the back of the locomotive, and again you can rotate them as well. Sorry about that. And with this button you can decouple and uncouple the things. And with this you can do this. So if you have some locomotives that can have changes to them, you can add changes to them, like change the number and other things. So how do we drive this locomotive? So before we drive it, I'm going to show you some other things. In the main menu, we have some options: saving route, save as, minimap, and finding objects, edit route, edit environment, and edit season, and exit the surveyor. And the achievements as well. So if you look in the options, you can see we have these options, which are also in the main menu. So with this, you can add some different changes. With the quick drive rule, you can edit it, and you can do some stuff. So I'm going to find derailment mode. So I'm going to set derailment mode to none, so the locomotives won't crash through the junctions. Speaking of the junctions, what you can do, I'm gonna put another track, and you can do this, and you can see we have a junction right here. So right here we have some other track objects that you can put on the tracks, and we have some track markers and trigger. So we've got a bunch of these right here. So if you press this button right here, it can change the direction of the junction. That's great. And then again, you can remove it like this. And with this button, it'll do this, whatever this is supposed to mean. And with these, you can content, search, filter, and the pick list. So if you go back here, you can set up the drivers, create a list of drivers for the season, and assign them to do their orders. The driver commands specify which commands will be for the drivers, and you can clean up the derailed trains in case they derail. You can set the time to set whenever they will delete. Clean up by removing from the season. And with the quick driver rule again, you can change the season settings and add consist in the driver. And the consist data handler rule, this rule is used by the quick drive rule to place consists on routes in the while they were running on driver mode. So that's it. And with this button right here, you can put it on full screen. And if you drag it on the top of it, you can move it around. And that's pretty much it for the surveyor rules. So now I'm going to show you how to drive the locomotives. So if you press the driver button right here, this message will show up. You can press cancel or you can press save. and you can set the name of the new route and overwrite the existing route and the season. You can either set do not save route and season or create a new season. So I'm going to put down my volume a little bit and do this. Overwrite the new route, say yes to start driving. And you can see the locomotive is running on the invisible track. So how do we drive this? Well, before we drive it, let me show you the basics of running the locomotive. So with the camera button, you can change the positions of the camera. You can put the interior cabin camera, and you can do the line side view, and the free roaming view is basically this. And another way to set the free roaming view is by pressing this button right here, and you can free roam around. And the map view is basically this, the view of the map. The quick driver rule, you can set DC mode or cab mode to run the locomotives. And the consists, you can either clone driver or delete the drive and delete them. And the new train is basically this. So we don't have much room, so okay, so if you press on one of these locomotives, you can put them on the track along with their consists, and you can run them. The drivers, you can select and add more drivers to the game for more locomotives. And you can do the commands for the drivers, and and that way you can tell them what to do. Alright, and with this button you can select other drivers like this. And with this you can either notify, wait for, run around the locomotive, run around train, decouple, load and unload, driver schedule, assign to player, get off train, move to train, drive, and you can view details of the locomotives. And here we have the locomotive itself. So, how to drive this? Well, if you look right here, we have all these options here. If you press this button right here, this is the headlight button. And if you have locomotives that have working ditch lights, you can press this button right here. And if you have locomotives with working pantographs, you can press this button right here. And you can reverse the direction of the locomotive whichever way you want them to face. And with this button, you can decouple and uncouple it from other stuff. And this button right here is the bell button. And this big dial right here is the way that you're gonna run a locomotive. So, if you want the locomotive to go backwards, pull the dial and move it to this direction. And if you press this button right here, the locomotive will stop. If you want the locomotive to go backwards, pull the dial and move it to the other direction. Like this. And to operate and how to blow the horn, press the horn button on the bottom corner of the screen. And with this button right here, you can pause the game and it will freeze the game so that you'll have time to do stuff. And you can press this button and you can toggle season instructions. Show this right here. This and a bunch of other these. You can either do dim headlight, bright headlight, sound horn, ring bell, reverse train, and you could shovel coal, and enable and decouple mode. Enable decouple mode. And this button right here, you can get help on, view season instructions. And here, this is what's going to happen if you derail the trains. That is how the locomotives derail in the game. And you can see we have some X's above the locomotive. And you can see the if you derail the locomotive pulling freight cars, and if you have two locomotives derailing on the same track, they will go through each other and not collide, which is completely unrealistic. And with this, you can save game, find object, and do other things. So that might be pretty much it for teaching you how to do the basics of the Surveyor and how to run the locomotives. In the next episode, I plan how to show you how to download the add-ons to the game and how the downloading add-ons work. How the downloading of the add-ons works. Alright guys, see ya, and bye-bye.